We are live. We are live.
Hey, Joyce. Hey, Veronica. Hey, Malcolm.
All right, everybody. All right, y'all see what's going on behind closed scene. Behind closed scene. I can't even talk tonight.
Close scene. It's the wine.
Y'all, yeah, it's the wine, y'all.
It's the wine.
Y'all see what's going on behind closed doors, behind the scenes.
Right?
We have fun on this show.
Absolutely.
We have some that are going to come in virtually tonight. They weren't able to get to town. All the way in Palestine, Texas, we have Miss Kimberly Hutchinson in the building.
What's happening,
Girl. What do you call it? Your ace boom coon
Ace Boom, cool.
in the house. All the way from
Gotta know it.
Texas.
All the way from Palestine, Texas. Hopefully, Denise will tune in. We'll tune in shortly. But this is the Let's Talk Coverage Over Cocktail show, everybody, where they talk life insurance over cocktails. That's what this show is all about.
Right here.
And they are going to toast you now. Let me get this out of the way so you can see this toast. Welcome to the show. This show is from 8:30 to 10:30 every Friday night. We've been on a little bit of a vacation because of the holidays, but
We're back.
we're back.
Full force.
We back.
This show is fun. If you have a bottle of wine that you would like to sip on, these ladies encourage you to go and get it because they sip
Yes.
cocktails and they talk life insurance.
Life
With-
insurance.
With no more
Absolutely.
with no more further ado, welcome to the Let's Talk Coverage Over Cocktail show on Real Talk 100 Radio. Hey Kim, hey Veronica, and hey Joyce.
Hey, Malcolm. Hey, Malcolm.
Hey.
Happy Friday.
Happy
Happy
Friday.
Friday. This is the last Friday of 2023.
Yes. And God has been to all
God's so good.
Yes.
good to
Can't
all of
believe
us.
it. Mm.
Yes,
Friday.
guys. It's Friday, December 29th, 2023. I guess we have less than 72 hours before the new year.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, that's
And
about right.
so this evening our topic is going to be about life insurance. I know several of you guys may have been with us in the past, but the topic of life insurance, as we all know, can be very uncomfortable.
Yes.
But Kim Hutchinson, who is my co-host, along with my wonderful panelists, Veronica Haley, we're here to provide relief to make the application process for you easier, quicker, and less stressful.
More
So
understanding.
tonight, we want you to sit back on and sip on your favorite beverage and think about what we will be talking about, tonight. So will it be uncomfortable? Of course, it's going to be uncomfortable. Especially if you're sitting with your significant other or your spouse or with just whomever. And is it necessary? Yes, it's necessary. These are conversations that are necessary as well as being uncomfortable sometimes. So our mission is to protect families, not just more families, but more kinds of families of all ages, nationalities, occupations. We are including people who haven't thought about life insurance before, people who thought they couldn't qualify for insurance or who thought they couldn't even afford it. So our milestone that we have and has been in the past and what we're going to be going forward with is in our mission. And ladies, what's that? What we're going to do?
Let's make coverage contagious.
All right. So that's what we're planning on doing.
Yes.
or we
Make
keep
coverage
talking
fund.
about it until people understand how important it is to have insurance. So, Kim, do you have anything you guys say?
Yeah, see, we as people, we need to understand that life insurance is more affordable than what they think. A lot of times people think that that is out of their budget. But what you pay a day in coffee, how many of y'all are coffee drinkers like I am?
Right
I mean,
here.
we stay in the Starbucks line, we stay in the Scooters line, and we gotta have that joy juice, that jungle juice, whatever it is to get you energized in the morning. For what you pay, for a fraction of what you pay for coffee a day, you can afford to have coverage for you and for your family. So it is very affordable, even though a lot of people don't think that it is. But it is affordable, and we want to make sure that people understand that and realize that it is important. And it's just as important to put it in your budget as it is to budget your utility bills, as it is to budget your cell phone bill, as it is to budget your car insurance. Whatever you put in your regular budget on a monthly basis, then you need to know that life insurance needs to be put in the budget and is affordable as well.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like, because I know I'm an avid coffee drinker. I had to stop that Starbucks will break you.
Yes, it will.
On the daily.
It sure will.
And I'm sure
It will.
I stopped buying Starbucks about a year or two ago. I buy it occasionally now, but I make my own Starbucks at home. So I can just imagine if I were to go back and add up all the $5 or just say $6, just to round it off, I've spent in the past on coffee, but it can be expensive. So, like you said, if you add up all those $5 times 7 days a week, times 30 days per month, that's a lot of money. That's your insurance.
That's a lot of moolah. That's a lot of moolah.
The thing about it, that's if you're only getting coffee.
That's true.
We ain't gonna even talk about what we get on the weekend.
I was
We ain't gonna talk about the cocktails.
Yeah, I was just about to say I'm not a coffee drinker, but I'm an eater. And I tell myself every week, you're not going out to eat 10 times a week.
But we do. When we just think about if you're on a job, every day you're buying lunch.
Yeah.
Because you're like, dang, I ain't got time to pack up no lunch.
You know what
so
I do?
you getting out the door. Yeah.
You know what I do?
It's very convenient.
Everybody thinks I'm crazy, but I will go and get me my favorite lunch meats, my favorite breads, get me some cheese, some mayonnaise, and some mustard and a couple pickles. And I'm good.
A couple of
and you create way, right?
I got my own
Young
Subway.
Jason's
Yes,
Deli.
yes, ma'am. I refuse.
And that's a smart thing to do because, as we're saying, the money that we're spending on these types of things, we can incorporate that into a policy.
Mm-hmm.
You can get a policy, $50 a month, $30. Sometimes some young men are $30.
Yes, ma'am.
Right.
$30 a month.
Exactly.
Which is not a lot, you think about it, because that's snack money for some people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
exactly.
And snack per week, you go to dollar store and spend buy 30 items. That's $30 right there, plus some change. It's like 40. They're going up from $1 to $1.25. So just think about it.
I refuse. There was one point where we were spending $1,000 plus a month on Olive Garden, on Oxtail. So I said, you know what? No, I'm done. I'm done with that. That's a lot of money.
It adds up so quick you don't even realize it.
That's
true.
That
is so true.
Great things about working at home as an insurance agent. You don't have to go out anywhere.
No,
you ain't gonna have time to go out anywhere. You gonna eat what you got in your cabinet.
That's right.
Many days I'm like, man, I ain't got nothing to eat. Let me go find me a peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
Oh yeah.
Hey, my sister. Hey, Denise.
I done pulled up some ramen noodles and warmed them up in the microwave because I'm working from home and I don't have time to go out and get anything. You know what I'm saying? It's like you just learn how to piece it together and make it work, right?
I've learned with the ramen noodles. I've told you about the ramen noodles and the blue crabs. TikTok. You can learn to make a whole bunch of stuff out of nothing. You watch TikTok.
Ramen noodles and lobster.
And blue crab.
And blue crab?
Yes. Like that, baby. You got your own meal.
Ramen noodles.
and add a little cilantros in there and rotel.
Yeah.
Baby, it's on and pop
Cook
it.
it like you normally cook anything else.
That's right. TikTok.
Sure.
TikTok.
When I was
Got a
pregnant
lot
with
of
my
things
oldest
on it.
daughter,
TikTok will make you do it.
my grandmother had my baby shower catered, and the lady, I thought she had used some extravagant noodles or something for the pasta that she made.
Uh-huh.
I said, well, can you tell me the recipe? Because this was really good. She said, I put about 12 packs of Roman noodles. I said, hold on, stop. You said you eat the what?
Let me take my Roman noodles, baby. Kim, you can attest to these Roman noodles. Working in a penal facility.
Yes.
With some chips, corn chips, and some noodles.
Corn chip, uh-huh.
and some
that part rolled up, and then roll it up like it's a it's a tortillas.
Baby, girl, Malcolm got the corn chip bag over here.
That's what I'm talking about. That part right there.
Yeah, baby.
That part right there.
Jalapeno peppers. Don't forget the peppers.
Oh, that's right. The beef stew. The beef stew and some jalapeno peppers.
We even know how to make cakes in the corn chip bag.
Thank you.
Oh my God.
Yes.
We know how to make it work.
A stinger will get anything done.
Welcome everybody. Welcome
we told
everybody.
y'all we will have some conversations that will enlighten you guys and educate you as well.
Denise is falling out of her chair right now.
That is the truth.
Yes.
So we
sure is.
There's a way that you can save money. Just be creative with your food.
That's right.
Right.
Creativity is the key. Therefore, when you become creative with your foods, you save money.
Oh yeah.
I agree.
My husband probably say, "What the hell is she talking about?"
And you know what? If we were a little bit more creative with our foods, I think that we would be a lot healthier as a nation as well.
Exactly.
Because back in the day, it seems like before obesity just took over, and a lot of people have a hard time or feel like that they can't get life insurance because they have health issues due to obesity.
Exactly.
And a lot of times obesity is because we're not eating correctly. We're doing too much fast food. We're doing too much processed food. And it's breaking our bodies down. And I'm a living witness to that myself, because being a mom that was always grandmother that's always on the go, I had gotten into the habit of grabbing something to eat versus preparing something to eat. And when I was a little girl coming up, my aunt that raised me, she always prepared something, even if it wasn't nothing but some sardine and crackers. You had something to eat.
And some onions and cheese. Don't forget it.
Come on now. Some sardines with some hot sauce. But you had something at the house. We could take a can of mackerel and make some mackerel patties. Come on, somebody help me now. With some burnt rabbit syrup and some biscuit. Malcolm, I know you know what I'm talking about. And it'll get you so fat full until you switch to the real kind of food that you can go ahead and you can make it through the rest of the day. And it didn't cost you a whole bunch to do it. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
We have kids in today's society that don't even know nothing about no hamburger helper. They're like, hamburger who? Betty who? Come on now.
They don't know nothing about no hog head cheese.
They don't know nothing about no hog head cheese and sausage and crackers. They don't know nothing about no liver loaf. They don't know nothing about that good stuff.
Those were the days where we were healthy, because I cannot even remember going to a doctor back in my younger days, because my grandmother, again, the medications were prepared from the earth.
Yes.
From herbs and stuff, from things in the kitchen.
Vegetables.
You better not get no sore throat. The turpentine was it.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And if you were in the country where I was raised, if you got the flu, if you got a bad cold, they made what we call cow shuck tea.
That's what I'm talking about.
I know about that. You got a pasture. We didn't go to the store. They didn't go to the store. They went out to the pasture, and they got some cow manure and they boiled it.
That's
and made a tea out of it, and you drunk it, and it cured a lot of what was ailing you. And then they might even take some moonshine, boil it, and put some peppermint off in there or something, and you drunk that, and it help you sweat whatever you needed to have sweat out of your system, so you can detox whatever was going on in your system. And we just don't do those things anymore.
But
we frown our nose up. We turn our nose up. We'd rather spend $1 to go to the doctor, and instead of thinking about the home remedies that have been passed on to us from generations to generations that helped us be well. It's a lot of people that are living in their 70s, 80s, and 90s today and still follow those same health steps from back in the day, which were home remedies to help keep themselves their immune systems build up and their bodies more in check. And we just don't do it like that anymore because we're new millenniums, and the newer the millennium, the less prone they are to do any home remedies or anything to take care of themselves. God forbid if your child catches a cold and start coughing, we at the ER.
All night.
Don't nobody know what don't know the difference from urgent and emergency because we taking them to the doctor for everything, not everything, but everything.
Right. But then that's where we
I hear you, Denise.
Denise, be online. Go to your Facebook. Denise, go to your Facebook. And there's a messenger. There was a link sent to you to be able to get online with us.
Click that link. Make sure you're on your laptop or your floor model or tabletop, whatever you have, and you should be able to click right in.
Yes, make sure you're on your laptop. Malcolm says, and then you'll be able to get on and be live with us.
She says she's in the kitchen right now.
She's in the kitchen cooking some healthy foods.
Okay. But I mean, you look at the kids today, they don't look like children no more.
No.
You know,
they don't.
You don't hardly see children riding bikes anymore.
No, because we're all in front of
electronics all day.
That's right, all day long.
They don't, because they're so adult looking at 9 and 10 years old.
Exactly. That's that process, because they full of process. That's like them chickens. You know how you get chickens and the chicken parts look like they bionic chicken parts? Because they've been, they've been injected. We injecting our kids, and now they are so big until it's like, oh my goodness, oh my gracious. See, I come from the era also where we grew some of our own food. My uncle and them had a garden.
My grandmother.
In the summertime, we had to go, and on the weekends, we had to actually go work a garden. We had to pick our relish. We had to pick cabbage. We had to pick some peas. We picked tomatoes. We washed them off, and that's what we ate. We ate. You understand what I'm saying? You know, like my kids think, oh, they ate a real good breakfast because they went to Denny's and they got them some pancakes and some sausage and all this old kind of stuff. And you know what I told them? What was a good breakfast for me coming up was you take some potato, the Irish potato, you done peeled it and you done squared it up and you done put it in a skillet that thing on down, and you cook you some real bacon. I ain't talking about that old thin turkey bacon. I'm talking about the thick one like this right here that still got the little rim on it.
Bacon.
And make some homemade biscuits. And you can really make some homemade syrup if you want to get down with a little sugar, water, and some butter. And you keep it all moving. And guess what? You was healthy as a goat.
Yes.
Okay. And you're gonna be full as a tick. And guess what? You didn't have to eat a whole bunch of snacks throughout the day or anything like that because it filled you up so well until you didn't have to keep eating all day long.
That part right there.
You didn't have to eat all day long. I wish I had somebody knew what I was talking about. You didn't have to eat all day.
And Kim, the other things, because the grandparents and my grandparents actually, my grandmother, they actually grew the meat. The meats would be hung up outside. Yeah. The little thing. And they talk about ain't nothing like some good salt bacon boiled.
Yes.
With the salt and
real salt Joe.
The real salt Joe, baby. That's what we're talking about.
Real salt Joe.
But those were the healthy
the real salt Joe.
It's hard for some people to get positive because they're so unhealthy.
Hey, Lisa.
Right.
Y'all crazy.
There she go.
Hey,
what's up, y'all?
But
hey, as I was transitioning. Hey,
Lisa's tuning in. Hey, Lisa.
Y'all, as I was transitioning, listening to y'all, I just want to say I'm not that processed girl. I love to eat, but I'm not that processed girl. That is too funny.
Yeah, that,
Okay, John Selman. John said we got a witness. I know that's right.
yeah, baby. That was
Oh yeah,
filthy
y'all, he
stuff.
can cook.
But you know what? He can cook.
Oh yeah.
Okay, John. Okay, John.
Yes, baby.
But
We
you
were
know
doing
what? But I'm gonna tell you something else, so y'all, that I realize and I look at some of the older people that I know that are still healthy, that can get around and they're still in their right minds. Not only did they prepare their own food, not only did they grow their own food and they do home remedies, but because they worked a garden, because they got out and they wasn't afraid to do hard work, and they keep working all the time.
actors.
Guess what? And they still today keep pushing and keep being as physical as they can. Then they have less ailments than some of us that weren't that way, weren't
Right.
raised that way, and did not, you know what I'm saying, that sit behind a desk all the time or sit behind games doing our thumbs like this. You know, they actually got out, and because when I was coming up, I was told, you know, grown folks in the house talking, y'all go outside.
Yeah, that's
Kim,
right.
Come back in.
Kim, hold on 1 second.
Oh,
We
I'm
got
sorry.
No. Denise or Kim, please turn down. Something's interfering in the background. Turn down your TV or
That's probably me. Lee, your phone is too loud. I'm sorry. They can hear it. Okay. Can you still hear it?
no, ma'am. That's
Yeah.
perfect.
Okay, that's what it was. Sorry about that.
They kept themselves physically fit. They didn't have to go to a gym. They didn't have to get a gym membership. A lot of them, because they worked around the house. They kept their self going all the time. They find something to do on a regular basis that keep them fit. So when you look at people of that age, and you wonder, wow, how they're living to be in their late 80s, their late 90s, and still move around, still be in their right mind, still can get around, still can drive real well, fix their food real well, keep their house and upkeep themselves so well, is because on a routine basis, they got up early in the morning and they did a bunch of work.
Yeah, they
They
did.
weren't scared to work. They weren't scared to move around.
No.
Now, if I ask my grandkids to do anything around the house, housework wise, I tried to send my grandson on the roof to clean out the gutters one day. He asked me, was I crazy? Grandma, I could fall. But you young. You'll bounce back. My bounce back game ain't like that no more. You can bounce back.
But Kim, that's a part of them having to analyze what we asked them to do. Back in the day, we just did was like Nike. We just did it. We were not thinking about it. Because we knew we could do certain things without thinking about, well, what if I get up on the roof? What's going to happen if I slip and fall?
But we didn't have this technology.
No.
That you can fall. We didn't have the technology.
It's like go.
It was taking like our brain cells.
It's like go tell your son. My son is an example. Go cut the yard. That's your responsibility if it's living in my house. He gonna hire somebody.
He gonna hire somebody.
He got the work done.
He gonna cut the grass. I recall my husband talking about when Jason hired somebody to cut the. I don't care. As long as it gets done.
As long as it get done.
So
long as it get done.
Who does that when you got the equipment to do all this yard work? They're not that huge. They like you going.
Check this out though. When my daughters are older now, but I used to tell them, you know how our parents used to say, "Go on outside and play."
Yes.
I don't want to see. I don't want to see you no more. If you come back in this house, you stand in the house because you let my AC out.
They don't want it.
So I tell mine when they were younger.
Who does that?
I would tell mine.
Outside people.
Yes, right. I would tell mine, go outside and play. Get out of daddy's house.
No shoes on.
And they would go outside, and you know what? They'd be right back in the house 10 minutes later. And you know what the excuse was?
It's hot.
Too hot.
It's changing my skin color, the sun. I'm getting black.
No,
I said, you
got
got
one
to.
better for you. My oldest daughter say, "Mama, I'm allergic to the sun."
Allergic to the sun.
That's crazy to me. We didn't think about it. We played outside all day long until it was time to go to get lunch, and then go back outside and get
your husband say he hate the yard.
Well, baby, y'all can pay for it. I mean, I'll get out there and cut the yard. I have no problems because I feel like I do a better. I do a better job than the yard man anyway because I do it my way.
Right.
And I have done it
That
before.
makes a difference.
It doesn't bother me at all. But I love my flowers and my plant mama and stuff like that. So outside doesn't bother me at all. I can go fish all day long.
Yes, ma'am.
Because it's calming to me.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, me.
It's peaceful. But these kids, my kids don't know anything about fishing. Ask them to fish and be like, do what?
I don't know nothing either, Mr.
I'm telling you, that's a common way. And you know, and that's why
go fishing. I'm gonna have to go with
you know, so
you need to go. If he's trying to take you, please go, Veronica. It is so calming. I a couple of years ago, one of my nephew, I have a nephew who is autistic. And he has this electronical fishing game that he played on his mom's phone all the time. So for his birthday, we did a fishing trip where I took the grandkids, my children, my sister. No, we actually went to Wolf Creek in Palestine. It's past the projects, Joyce, if you remember going toward the prison.
They probably didn't have that when I was there.
They did. We just didn't know nothing about it because we wasn't into it. But it's been, I come to find out, it's been there for a long, long time.
The dam and all that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we took all the kids there, and when I tell y'all, they had a ball.
Wow.
They had a ball. They learned how to cast their. My husband was showing them how to cast their rod and stuff like that, and they really, really enjoyed it. And what I realized is that the more they did outside, the more they were able to breathe fresh air, the more they were able to see that water rippling, and it was so calming until it was just, they just had a good time. It even, I noticed it even changed the mood to everybody had such a happier mood. Right. Because they were out there by the water. Denise, you know, we've gone fishing before. Your husband, me, my husband, and even though I didn't do a whole bunch of casting out, did a little casting, but be able to sit by that water gave a new form of peace.
Yeah.
And when you have a new form of peace, it helps you. Yes, it helps you clear your mind, clear your thoughts. And a lot of times people are so stressed out, which is a healthy issue. A lot of times, whenever we're stressed out too much, too often, it becomes a health hazard. It becomes, we start having other health issues because of that. But if we would take the time to do calming things and to do it, and here's the thing I like about it, and I'm gonna give them this for free. It don't cost a dime. Ain't gonna cost you no money. It ain't gonna cost you no more money than it is to buy you some bait. And some of them baits you ain't gotta buy. Go in your yard and dig up you some earthworms. That's what I do.
Yeah, go
I'm real country. I'm real country. I get them old fat juice to it.
You just go pull back the leaves and stuff.
You can get some Vienna weenies too. Or some weenies. Yeah.
And
you can go to the candy store and get little peach rings. The catfish like that. Yeah.
Wow.
Yes.
Really?
The peach rings. The peach rings with the little sugar on it.
Yes. I get the peach rings.
Listen, I like them myself.
Yeah, I know. That's why I get them. But you can get any flavor. What? So you know, while you baiting it, you don't want to use bait. You can get those peach rings. Yeah. Get a fish one, you eat one. You know, even with the Vienna weenies. Hey.
So you eat one.
Make your hook with a Vienna weenie, and then you eat one. I know. So yeah. A lot of people don't like to do worms or minnows. You can do real food. Yeah.
What is a minnow?
Oh, a minnow is a little fish about the size of your pinky. If that.
Veronica just asked what is a minnow.
What is a minnow, girl? We got to get you out. We got to get you out that city for a minute.
Come on to East Texas so we can take you fishing. East Texas. Bring John with you. John will show you what to do.
Sure will.
Man, y'all are funny.
But those kind of things help you health-wise as well as it just give you a peace of mind.
Right.
Peace
So
of
that,
mind, really.
yeah, and a lot of times when we have a peace of mind, it takes us what? It takes our blood pressure down and keeps it level to where maybe somebody doesn't have to take blood pressure medicine as much. Because there's a lot of times we have to take these different kind of medications, like anxiety medications, blood pressure medications, and whenever you take those kind of certain kind of medications, some companies, whenever you're trying to get insurance, they're going to look all that up to find out why you're taking it.
Right.
And it could be a strike against you to where, and when I say strike against you, I don't really mean that it'll cancel you out, but it will drive your premium up
Right.
because of it.
Right.
Because of it. Let me be 100. It'll make your premium a lot higher because they consider you a risk factor.
Right.
That you have so many risk factors.
Right.
You
So
have
that's
so
what we
many
tell
risk factors.
people that as a people, we need to understand that life insurance is more affordable than you think. You know, there's so many carriers out there that, you know, you can possibly go with, that you can possibly find something for yourself of that, you know, where you order, you're able to protect your family in the event of your untimely death or anything, you know, because life insurance, there's good, you know, we have living benefits as well.
Right.
Absolutely. You know, thank God for the living benefits.
Yeah, living benefits, not only death benefits, because people just think, oh, insurance is just when you die.
Oh no.
No.
And it's not. So much more, thank God.
I mean, the cash value, you know, because in the, you know, you have the policy for so long, you get into a hardship where you may need to go get car repairs or go get
I mean, people buy houses and vehicles with that cash.
Yes.
That's
and
right.
And too, and this is something I've learned, that people can take their policies to the banks, and borrow off of them. And people don't know that.
That's right.
You know that you can take your insurance policy to a bank.
Yeah, I mean, you know, having a policy gives you some control. So you know, that's
how the Rockefellers got where
come
they
on
are.
now, talk about
the Rockefellers got busy like that and got rich by taking their policies, cashing them in, and putting them back into the vault. And then, you know, saving that money, you know, reinvesting that money and using that money and then putting it back.
Yeah, that's how you make yourself your own bank.
That's how, there you go, Malcolm. Yes. So, you know, there's you know,
that's how you make yourself your own bank. Boom.
Yeah. So basically, when you obtain insurance, you bring a sense of control, a sense of comfort, and also a sense of peace. You can provide emotional reassurance to yourself and your loved ones, knowing that your affairs are in order, your intentions are clear, and your legacy is protected.
And you know, the thing about it is, even biblically, it tells us to leave our children an inheritance.
Come on.
You know, we as black and brown people, you know, we don't do that. We live for the day, and we're not worried about what happens tomorrow. But if tomorrow you lose your life in a car accident, a heart attack, stroke, whatever the case may be, then how are your children gonna survive? You know, if your husband died, how are those bills gonna go on if, you know, you got mediocre income and he was the breadwinner?
My little baby done something. That's all I gotta say about that. But not leave me here suffering.
You know, you have people that end up homeless because there was no policy in place to say, if this happened, this is gonna kick in.
Because we don't ever know the hour of the day, you know, when our number is called. So we need to make sure that we're able to leave something back for our families. I don't know when my number is coming up. You know, I don't know what day, what hour, you know, my time is up, you know, so therefore I need to make sure that my family is protected. Yes, my family is protected. You know, if something happens to me tonight or tomorrow, I can go rest assured that my husband, my kids are going to be good. And they need to get vice versa. So, and
that's right, James. Tomorrow is not promised.
And they need to get out the mindset of when we have these uncomfortable conversations that, oh, if she want me to get life insurance, that means she's trying to kill me.
Right.
No, we're not trying to kill you. We're trying to make sure that if something do happen to you, hey, I'm not suffering. It's not suffering. And you know, the thing about it, you know, relationships don't always work out, right? So if I have a child with you, I have a right to put a policy on you because my child has depended on your income.
Absolutely.
And women don't take the time to do that. Even single men, hey, go get a policy on your child.
That's right.
That's so true.
That's right. Because
let me also add this, because it ain't just for death benefits. It's not just the cash value, even for um, catastrophic illnesses or things that can happen
Yes,
that are
yes.
tragic. We just had a teacher here in our Palestine area. As a matter of fact, she's the vice principal of the elementary school at Westwood, was on her way home from school,
Mm-hmm.
late meeting, and a driver hit her head on the Rusk Highway,
Wow.
and she's in the hospital. She's going to be there for many, many months
Wow.
because both of her legs were broken, arm was broken, other things that are going on and stuff. So in the case of something like that happening to where a tragedy happens to where you didn't die, but at the
Yes.
same time it puts you in an incapacitated state, that
Mhm.
insurance, you can use that to help with
Mhm.
doctor bills, with
Yeah.
Right.
rehabilitation,
Exactly.
and stuff like
Exactly.
that. You know what I'm saying? Because even though we don't know when our time is going to come, but then an accident can happen at any time.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely.
It can leave you
True.
devastated. It can leave your family devastated, and it can also put your family in a bind as far as how we're going to pay bills while this person is in the hospital. We need gas money to go up and down the road to check on this person, as well as
Right.
maintain the house, maintain the children, blase, blase. It can have a domino effect as far as tragedy goes.
Right. Absolutely.
You know,
Yes.
so having an insurance policy in place, a whole life insurance policy in place, that you're consistent with making sure that you make the payments timely and keep it in order is going to be something that is going to be detrimental to a family of any
Mhm.
size and of any kind,
Right. So
of any nationality.
that's why we say that getting insurance is a smart financial move.
Yes.
Right.
A financial move,
Absolutely. So smart.
it's because if something happens today or tomorrow, that's a financial burden that's lifted
Yeah.
for your family.
Most
Because
definitely.
so many of us is
That's
like,
true.
what are we gonna do? Because now I can't pay the house note, or now I
Mhm.
can't pay the car notes, and then it take a domino effect, like Kim said. Things start being repossessed because you can't
Vehicles. Right.
vehicles, the homes. You stuck with 3 or 4 kids out there. Where you wonder where are we going to go now? What are we going to do?
And
So
then not only that, but how am I put you on the ground if we don't have no coverage? Now I gotta have a fish fry, barbecue,
you can't
sale,
sell
or
enough plates for these funerals these
have
days.
have
Not
a
today.
have
Not
a,
today. You
an
cannot.
event at a club where people bringing in donations at a club to try to put you in the ground.
And a lot of these funeral homes now, they are no longer taking payment plans.
No.
They're
No,
no.
they don't.
When my grandmother was living back in the day, yes, Mister, we used to knew the funeral home man. He put everybody because he knew everybody,
Mhm.
all of us black people in the community on a payment plan to bury the loved one. But that man was forever getting his money. He
That's
probably
right.
left and still was being owed. They're no longer doing that now.
Yeah.
Not right.
And
Mr. Emmanuel does it in East Texas at Emmanuel Funeral Home. And if you talk to him, he's so funny. He'll say, I got more money under the ground than I have on top of the ground. Why?
that's
Because he
true.
has helped so many families by making payment plans that people didn't follow through with.
Right.
Right.
Out
And
of the
so
kindness, it's
not
hard.
right, because a lot of times once you put them in the ground, that's it. They're not thinking about it anymore. It's like, what are you going to do? Repossess the casket, repossess the body? What can you do?
Yeah.
Let's be
Make you want to sometimes, but you can't.
right.
Like,
Right.
Maybe
But times have
and
changed. Times have changed where people aren't
indeed,
about their word anymore.
Mhm.
Their
Right.
word isn't their
No,
bond
right.
anymore.
That's what I grew up with. My word is my bond. I don't need and I'm still like that today. My word is my bond. I don't need to sign a contract because if I say something
That's
or
what
tell
That's
you
it.
something, that's it. That's how I was brought up, old school. That's from the
Right.
old days, and I'm still to that way today. And you don't communicate with me about something, an agreement we don't have. I get a little testy with you sometimes. You wonder what's wrong with her. Well, hell, you ain't communicated. Just communicate.
Yeah.
Right?
Just say
Just
what it is.
communicate. Yeah,
We
She
can
sure
go a lot
do.
further.
just communicate.
She
Communicate.
sure do.
I'm talking about show do. But
Like,
it's
It's easy to block people these days. Your word ain't your bond. Okay, I don't need to be dealing with you because you're not reliable.
Right. That's
No,
right.
that's true.
Right. It used to be where your name was as good as your word.
Exactly.
And a
That's
lot of people,
reputation. Reputation.
as time has come to pass, more so
Reputation.
that has gotten out of the way. It's not as reliable as it used to be.
It's like don't tarnish the name.
It's not something people try to keep up anymore.
Right. Don't tarnish the name. So
Right.
I'm gonna make sure my image, my name is sacred. You know, we don't mess with that part because that's my reputation.
That's right.
And it's me
Right.
as a person.
That's
You
it.
know what I'm saying? So you have to, I try and maintain that by all means.
Yeah.
You know, I go to Malcolm X on that one by any means necessary now.
My grandmother used to always
You go to
tell
Malcolm
me,
X,
your
you
name
go.
is the thing that's yours. When
That's
you come
right.
into the world, you get a name. And when
And
you
I done
die,
took somebody else's
you have a
name too.
So what happens in between is detrimental.
Yeah,
That's
you gotta
right.
do that.
You representing you and James.
That's right. I took his last name. I gotta represent both of us. Can't be letting nobody tarnish that
Right.
image cannot
Schofields.
be tarnished. Team Schofield like that. You know what I'm saying?
Okay. Team
But
Schofield.
yeah, baby, we gotta protect that.
Yes.
And a lot of people don't even care about that because they go around doing all this crazy stuff and saying crazy things and not thinking about man, my name. I don't hear my name ringing around town.
Yeah.
They ever saying nothing, but that pinchback girl. What about her?
Mm-hmm.
Who?
Mm-hmm.
They don't even, when I go to town anyway, they don't even know who I am when I go home.
Mm-mm.
When my mom was living, I go home to my mom unless I take her to HEB while she walk around in HEB for 2 hours in the fruit section.
Mm-hmm.
And back at my mama's house, they see me. My mom used to say, "You need to come home more often because if something happened to you today or tomorrow, anybody don't know who you are to go to your funeral." Okay.
Mm-hmm. You know, I was raised right here in Acres Home, and I can probably name 5 people that I knew in Acres Home.
My sister still asks me, but somebody. I'm like, no, I don't. When I left, my memory left. Because I don't know a lot of people.
Yeah.
See, Denise and I live in a smaller community, right? So it's very detrimental for us whenever we have our name on certain things or we are associate with certain things because this is a smaller community, right? So a small town. So if you say, Denise Kinder, first thing they say, you mean Pastor Kinder? Yes, we know Pastor Kinder. She work at the school. She work at Nathan's school. Or they say, do you know Kimberly Hutchinson or Kimberly Hollis Hutchinson? Mama Kim? You talking about Mama Kim?
Mama Kim.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Man.
And the thing about it, like you don't remember the people, but they know who you are.
Let me tell you something.
Exactly.
You're absolutely right. I used to be a braid technician for many years, and a lot of the clientele that I have are adults. They're adults now, and do you know I've had people come up to me before and be like, "Do you remember you used to do my hair when I was little?" I'd be like, "Girl, I did, didn't I?" And I'm saying, "Did I?" That's where I'm at.
Kim, what they say? You used to do that hair.
Show me your child picture. Let me see what you look like back then. I don't know who you are now.
Kim, did they say you used to do my hair and give me a facelift in the process? I'm a witness here. I look brand new.
You did. It ain't going nowhere. It ain't going nowhere. And you know what? I remember a young girl I had done her hair one day. She went to a party. She called me that next day, let me know she got into a fight at the party. And the girl thought she was going to snatch her braid out. She said, "Babe, my braids wasn't going nowhere." She said, "I want you to know they still look just as good as you just done them." And I was so tickled because when I put them in, I made sure it was like it was your hair. Like you grew it out your own scalp.
Mm-hmm. I too did braids as well. And this one person wanted to sew me. And she told me, make sure you do do it tight so it can last a long time. I said, sure. I say, because
baby,
let me know as I'm going if it's too tight. She never told me anything. When she got home, she was so upset that she came back with her nieces and they egged my house and my car.
Baby. We have walkers out there.
No.
No, ma'am.
So y'all back to this insurance that we got going on.
Yes.
I'll talk about hair braid and hair, but
Woo.
I tell people when I come in contact with them and they're talking about, wanting to get a policy and everything, I tell them how important it is to lock in the affordable rates when they can.
Yes.
Because just say, for instance, if you want to buy a $1 million policy, most likely it will cost you more next year than it is today. So that's why get your policies now. Get in tune with. You can find out what you need to know. Because y'all don't know this, but I did a little bit of research. Dave Ramsey has an app that you can download, and it actually can tell you about how much insurance you can afford.
Right.
Okay.
It's a free app that you can get. I'll be doing the homework. It's a free app that you can download by Dave Ramsey that actually tells you,
Dave Ramsey.
Dave Ramsey. Yeah, he does all that financial stuff. He on top. He be on it. So me and Dave Ramsey, we became good friends in all these books.
We have a quick comment, ladies. We have Mr. Farstein Williams. I hope I'm not saying Mrs. and you're a woman. I'm sorry. Farstein Williams says absolutely. People insure their vehicles and their phones, but won't insure
Come
their
on
life.
now, you speaking a whole lot right
Exactly.
now.
That's the
That's
truth.
right.
That's true.
That phone is so important. Yeah,
They insure everything.
that is crazy.
Yeah.
They do. They do.
They insure their jewelry. They insure their glasses. They insure
They animals.
Yeah.
Don't forget the pets.
Yes, they even have pet insurance, and now people will
Yeah.
get their pet insurance.
Right.
People will get their pet insurance before they have life insurance. I've known that
Mhm.
have pet insurance and no life insurance. But I'm telling y'all, life insurance is more affordable than you can think.
It is.
Right.
I read something yesterday. It said that when you want to get your policy review, do it no more than 5 months after your birthday, because after that, then the rates go more at the 6 month point.
Right, because now a lot of the insurance companies out there now are going by your credit. There's some out there that go by your credit report when you put your social in. Now that's something that they don't tell you. That I've learned also from working with different carriers. They will put your social in, therefore that will tell you how much insurance they will either give you or not give you. That's why I say that of course, we work with 25 different carriers. That's why we have to check to find out what best fits your financial needs.
Right.
Because we don't want to be just saying, oh, we want you to buy a $250 policy per month, knowing that you cannot have, you can't afford the policy.
Right.
Because what good is it going to do you when you don't have the policy when you need it?
Mm-hmm.
And people go out there thinking, oh, don't be coming to me because I'm your friend, saying, oh, I'm gonna be Miss Big Shot or Mr. Big Shot. I'm gonna tell her I got some money. Right. No. I want you to get what you can afford, because I don't want no family members coming up to me talking about it to buy a plate.
That's right. And then if you come across an agent that's trying to force you into something that you can't afford, tell them, hey, you know what? Thank you for your time, but let me find another agent that's willing to listen to what I'm saying, because if it's going to be an inconvenience to your other bills, then it's going to lapse anyway. Right. You're going to pay your rent, mortgage before you pay your life insurance.
Exactly.
Because while you're living, you got to keep that roof over your head.
Right. Now, unless you have a policy where it's going to take off that premium for you.
Right.
Now, there are policies out there that will, if you're not able to pay your premium, it will pay the premium for you. But at the same time, you're going to have to end up paying that money back.
Exactly.
In order for it to pay out.
Like a loan.
It works like a loan. So who wants to do that?
Right.
You don't want to do that because then it's going to become a habit.
That's right.
It's going to become a habit where you're like, oh, I ain't going to worry about the insurance company going to pay it for me. But like they say, every good thing comes to an end. Every good thing is going to come to an end where you're going to do that one day. You're not going to have those funds there because you use them all up.
Exactly.
So I would not recommend that at all. So we know, protecting your family is easier. So that's why we want to help everybody to make sure their families are insured. So I always tell people, I'm not saying you got to get a policy from me or anything like that, but get it from somebody.
Yeah.
Get it from
Right,
someone.
exactly.
Find somebody that you can obtain a policy from where you're protected. It doesn't matter just as long as it's somebody that's going to be fair to you, give you what you need,
Mhm.
and not saying, "Oh, I'm going to give you what you want," and not being fair with you to go over and say, "Okay, well, I wouldn't recommend this because of A, B, and C." Again, the health condition that you're in is so important as well when you're trying to obtain that policy. And people don't understand that because they feel like they can go out and get $1 million policy and they have health issues.
Yeah.
They're taking tons of medication. Yeah, there's something that's there for you, but it may not be that $1 million insurance policy that you
Yeah.
want.
Right.
Then you pay attention to what the policy says, the terms of the policy, because people that have a lot of people get life insurance thinking that they have a policy that's gonna, take care of them until the day that they leave this world. But some of them have term life insurance thinking that it's whole life insurance. So make sure, don't just go by what the agent is saying. You got to read for yourself. Reading is
Right.
very important.
Exactly.
Go line for line and see, hey, okay, hold on. You didn't tell me
Exactly.
about this part right here. If you need one of us to go over it with you line for line, we do free consultations.
See?
We'll come to you. We'll do a Zoom call with you. Whatever the case may be. But make sure you understand what you're signing up for.
Right. Because a lot of the policies that the older people have gotten over the past years and maybe in the 80s or 90s, they have not gone back and done a policy review. And they don't realize that policy no longer exists.
Exactly.
They have that term policy that they may be 74 and not realize when they turn 64, it expired.
That's right.
Right.
And they don't know. Sometimes they don't read, like Veronica said, and the person that's selling them the policies is not telling them everything that they have or have purchased. And they don't know. So when something does happen, they go thinking they got one thing and they have something else.
Yeah.
Or they don't have what they thought they have.
Yeah. Because
Right.
Creates a major issue when it comes to trying to bury your loved one because you think you got a $50,000 policy and not realizing after a certain period of time, it's gone.
But
It's gone.
Back then, a lot of our black and brown people, they didn't read. They got that knock on their door. Hey, I'm your insurance agent. I want to sell you some insurance, whatever. And they just went with whatever the person said. So they thought, hey, I have some life insurance, so I'm covered.
Mm-hmm. So Kim, you and I were discussing something. Was it this morning? We were discussing the fact that a lot of the insurance carriers or the insurance agents were going and paying for the policies for their reps.
No, we were saying how a lot of time the door-to-door agents.
Yes, right.
Say for instance, they go to a client's house and the client didn't have the money right then. So instead of letting them know, hey, well, you didn't make that payment, but to keep your policy going, we went ahead and borrowed from your insurance policy.
Right.
For that payment. And not tell them. And then by the time they do and you can always do a review on your policy at any time. You can ask for a policy review from your agency at any time, and you could do a review because we've done some reviews for people, that would say, oh, I already have insurance. And it's like, well, what kind of insurance do you have? Whole life, term life? What do you have? How much is it worth? If you were to cash it in today, if something happened to you today or tomorrow, how much would it pay? You can always call and get a policy review done. And then we find out that when we did a policy review, that the agent has borrowed from the person's policy, and their policy is not worth what they thought it was worth.
Right.
Because they didn't tell them. That's why it's up to you to keep up with your business yourself.
That's right.
You got to ensure that you know what's going on at all times with your policy. Because a lot of times we found out, especially with older people, we found out a lot of times that happens to them and they don't even know that it happened.
Oh yeah.
Right.
That's why it's important, you have the free look period. So if it's something that you didn't personally understand, or maybe the wording is difficult for you to understand, have an agent look at it that's outside of who that person is that sold you the policy.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So again, let's explain to people out there that may be listening the type of policies. We have what we call the term policy, and a lot of people don't know that the term policy expires. So when you're turning 64 years old, and you've had that policy since you were what 30 years old,
Mhm.
and you're going to turn 64, just say 2024. If you don't try and figure out what you're going to need, that policy is going to expire. So everything that you put into that policy, all that money,
It's gone.
it's gone. You can't do anything about it. It's gone.
Right.
So I always tell people before you turn 64, try, because you can convert that policy over into something else. A lot of people probably don't know that or understand it, that you can take that policy and transfer to another policy.
That's right.
True.
And then we have what we call the ROP, and ROP stands for return of premium.
Right.
That means that again, you're 30 years old, you're gonna turn 64 next year. It also expires, but the money that you put into that return of premium, you get all that money back.
Right.
So I always tell people, take that money and get a better policy.
That's right.
Especially if you are in good health. If you're in good health, your health is a heart, find something like now. You know what I'm saying? Because once you start taking a lot of medications, we start going into that medical, what do you call it? Medical bank that the government has, and they find out you're taking all these medications, your chances are not going to be as great as it is today if you're healthy.
That's
because
right.
like, again, anything can happen. And then we also have what we call our whole life policy. And the whole life policy is what we offer living benefits, death benefits, as well as cash value of cash benefits. So you'll be able to use that during the time of a death for the purposes that you're getting it for, or cash if you have an emergency. Or even if you're not able to work, you go out there, as Kim said earlier, you go out there and you get into a car accident or something like that, or you lose your job and you're not able to work. You're able to use that policy, to help you continue with life.
That's right.
Because life happens every day and we're not even aware of that, and whatever. So, think about the kind of policies that's good for you and your family.
Yeah, that's going to give you that control.
You can control that policy. Yes, absolutely. So again, that age has a significant part to play in the policy and the type of policy that you get.
And waiting to get the policy. Say for instance, we're at the end of 2023 right now. 2024 is just in a few days. But waiting means that it's going to cost you more money. You get it today versus next year, it's going to be a little bit cheaper than it would be if you waited.
Right.
But people think, oh, I'm still young, I have so much time. But, I'm 44 years old, and I've had to go through getting colonoscopies because of colon cancer being in my family. Because that shows up when I, apply for my policy, they want to know, okay, I want to see the records of this colonoscopy.
Right.
If you get a mammogram, they want to see
absolutely. They want everything.
Anything that you do, it's a record for it that the insurance company can see. So again, it's better to get it when you're good and healthy, because you're protected at a lower rate versus when I'm getting older and I start having all these medical issues.
Because I know now, if you take an aspirin, especially nowadays, the doctors are prescribing aspirin through a prescription. Why? I don't know. Just tell me to go over the counter.
I'll tell you why. Because I take it as a prescription. Because it thins my blood so that I don't have heart disease with the fact that I have diabetes, because that comes along with it.
Yeah, and the reason why I say that is because I had a client who was taking an aspirin. The carrier sent me an email saying, we is taking an aspirin. I said, what? An aspirin? Because he did not list it. I mean, he listed aspirin, but he didn't list it as a prescription.
Right.
So I had to go back and get that information from the client. You got to go back to the carrier. So now when I get my clients, I'm like, look, just give me all your medication.
Everything.
I don't care if it's a gummy bear. Just let me know so I can put it down, because if you don't list all those medications, they're going to find out anyway.
That's right.
Trust me, Lord knows. Ooh, because I had my experience with that. They will find out through the medical IBM bureau.
So true. So true.
And I'm like, just tell me, just don't lie to me.
Mhm.
You know, hey, I ain't taking no medication, man. You had a list this long. I'm like, dude.
Yeah. So I mean, it's better to do it when you're younger and healthier. You know, and again, you know, don't wait till next year. Do it now because the premiums go up 8 to 12% every year.
That's why it's so important to secure peace of mind today. So tomorrow you can just be a little bit more worry free.
That's right.
Worry free. I'm all for worry free. Again, you know, we tell people, get some life insurance.
Yeah. You know, we always looking of ways to give people, you know, birthdays,
there
Mother's Day, Father's Day, Christmas, Valentine's. Gift them with a life insurance policy. What better gift to give them than something that's going to protect them and their family?
And you know, you also have the adult children. You may have parents that don't have insurance.
Yeah.
That's what more can you give them for Mother's Day or Father's Day present?
Yeah.
You know, because in the event of something untimely does happen, you as that child, you're gonna have that burden on you, and when you'll be coming out of pocket.
That's right.
You're gonna be the one coming out of pocket with trying to, you know, put your loved one away, you know, to handle the arrangements or whatever else needs to be done, or bills that are left behind and everything.
That's right.
So it's important that you know, I always suggest, you know, what better present can you give? What better gift can you give other than the gift of love to me?
Yeah.
It just shows you the genuine love that you have for that person by giving them life insurance. You know, saying, hey, I got you. You know, don't worry about, I got you. You know, and we don't do that.
You can't.
We don't do that. You know,
you can't say I have your back any better than that.
No, you can't. You can't.
You have these children that want to, you know, young adults. I need to stop calling them children. 18 and older is adults. But you have them wanting Jordans and PlayStation 4s and this, that, and the other for Christmas and things. Now, baby, this is what I got you. I got you a life insurance policy because you need to be protected. My daughter's 22 years old, so I made sure I put a life insurance policy on her because she's not a homeowner. So if something happened to her, okay, I'm gonna use this money and I'm gonna pay your house out. I'm gonna be able to bury you.
Right.
X, Y, and Z.
So smart. So smart.
You know what? I did a survey. I was just on the computer and I did a survey where I was just trying to find out the younger generation, right? You know, you got these Generation Z, you got the millenniums, and you got these baby boomers, which I'm a baby boomer, right? and they were just asking about what they thought about insurance, because now they're college graduates and they're hitting the workforce and they're faced with a bevy of adult decisions. And one of them is, you know, whether they should get life insurance or not. And they were saying that the 58% of the Generation Z don't think that they should, or don't know whether they should or not.
It's ignorance.
You know, and then you got those millenniums out there. They came down to 56%. And then, of course, a baby boomers, 67%. So we're not that much farther behind the millenniums and the Gen Z.
That's
for knowing what we need to do with our lives.
Oh yeah.
You know, and we all are guilty.
It comes down to parenting to me, because it's a popular meme that's going around on Instagram and Facebook where a dad, instead of getting the Jordans and the PS5s for his son, he went out and bought his son land.
Oh yeah.
And he went and bought his son land for his birthday.
Okay.
And his son is probably going,
what am I going to do with it?
But he's probably educated him already.
Sure.
But most kids would be like, what am I going to do with all this dirt?
Yeah, right.
And all this grass.
Right.
But here, when you're 40 years old, you'll thank your dad.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Right.
Dad was ahead of his time. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was,
yeah.
I was watching, it was a story about a middle-aged black guy. He had a 13-year-old daughter, and he bought her a house for her 13th birthday. And by the time she was 18, then she already had 4 homes.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
It all comes down to parenting to me.
Yeah.
And a lot of us weren't taught this in school. But now it's time to catch up in my opinion.
That's right.
Yeah, I have a young kid that he's matter of fact, he's turning 18. I think I've told you guys about this story once before. His dad does my mulch in my yard, and I just happened to be one home during the summer or the springtime. He came with his dad to do mulch. Now we were talking, and he was a very, very intelligent young man. And we got talking about, hey, what are you gonna do? What are you planning on doing? So he was asking me what I was doing, right? So we were holding this conversation. I'm like, hey, I'm a life insurance agent, and everything. He was inquiring about it. So I told him, well, if it's something that you may be interested in, I would definitely sponsor you. Guess what? I saw him 2 weeks ago. He's still interested. So one of my goals to do is to sponsor him, because financial services is something that it's needed, especially at a young age, when you feel like, hey, right now I don't want to go to college, or I don't know what I want to do, but it is something that he's interested in doing. Yeah. And just think at 18, yes, just think how far he can go. At that age, he can impact. Absolutely.
Right, absolutely.
Right. A smart young man, and of course I had not forgotten about it, but it was just interesting to see him at a young age, still wanting to do that. And his dad's like, he's still waiting. He can't wait until he's 18, because it's something that he has instilled in the back of his mind, that's something that's the way he wants to go right now.
Good.
And not only to say that it won't change, but who knows? Yeah, it may be something that he stick with forever. No, he can make it far, because the insurance business is $1 billion business.
It is. And like right now, I was doing some research.
That's right.
We have 75 million baby boomers in the U.S., and they're all due to be retired by year 2031. How much help can you give them by, and teach them about the importance of having this permanent life versus the term life that they're probably expiring on them? How important is it to teach them about, hey, you about to retire, this money, we can take it and roll it over here, and you don't have to worry about X, Y, and Z. Because, they're study talking about how Social Security is going to
go away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Be that person that's going to educate, have a passion for the people, and not, what do we say? We put the mission before the commission. So, don't think of all the money you can make. Think about all the lives that you're protecting.
Right. So again, guys, if you're out there listening, just know, if you have loved ones out there that's dependent on your paycheck, listen up. As I said earlier, Dave Ramsey has a calculator to see just how much life insurance fits your family's needs, and it's called the Term Life Insurance Calculator. And guess what? It's free. It's free, and to me, free is always good.
Oh yeah,
all right, exactly.
Free is always good, especially with Dave Ramsey. He's very big into financial education, and I read a lot of his books and everything. So again, the calculator it's a calculator. It's called the Term Life Insurance Calculator, and you can actually download it from your app store. So that's something that if you got someone out there that's dependent on your paycheck, once you're gone, it's something that you really seriously need to think about as far as obtaining life insurance.
That's right.
More ways than one.
Sitting here having fundraisers to try to see how we're gonna support, Day and Michael and whoever else is babies. You know what I'm saying? That time it has to change. We got to make some changes. We have to educate. We're trying to make this coverage thing contagious. That's the name of the show is.
That's right.
We have to, do more talking. We have to, go live more. We have to go do events as many events as we can.
Right.
Pass out material, whatever the case may be. Go to the churches and let them know, hey, can you make an announcement? This is what I do, because I would like to hold a conversation with the everybody that's sitting in the pews, the congregation.
Exactly.
Because people need to know. Yeah, it's important to give money to the church, but it's also important to protect yourself.
Right. And people don't think that life insurance is urgent. It is urgent. It becomes urgent to them when they're in need of it.
That's right.
When you don't have it. That's
right.
how it always works. We don't think it's important, but we don't think it's important until that moment hits us like, dang, we don't even have no insurance.
Yeah.
But
That's
it's
right.
It's important, So but my mom always used to tell us, you better have a plan.
Yeah.
You got to have a plan. That was one of my mom's sayings. Always make sure you have a plan.
That's right.
And so planning for the unfortunate, or untimely death is a plan.
That's right.
It's a plan. We gotta do better. In order for us to do better, we gotta know better.
That's right.
So that's why we're here. To educate the community in all nationalities of how important it is to ensure that we have life insurance.
Oh yeah,
right.
And the thing about it is, so many people think it's so expensive, but they think it's 3 times more expensive or 10 times more expensive than what it is. But
not.
like we say, if you go on a Starbucks every day, like I was guilty of, you can afford life insurance.
I was guilty. I have a sister that's real guilty of the Starbucks. She does her Starbucks, but I'm sure she's covered. But we don't think about how important it is until we need it. Because I always say it's better to have insurance 5 years later if you haven't had it 5 years before than to have it 5 minutes too late. Because again, 5 minutes too late is not gonna solve the issue.
Not gonna help.
Moment. It's not gonna help.
Yeah, and
definitely not going to help.
1 in 3 families might not be able to sustain life. Their day-to-day life if that breadwinner passes away.
That's right. That's right.
That's true.
It's devastating too.
In place, then they can continue going on. You have different riders. If I pass away, I want my daughter to still be able to still attend.
Yeah, absolutely.
I want
right.
her in debt with the car that I purchased her. I want her to be able to, have a roof over her head, have food on the table, but I can't do that if I'm in the dirt and I didn't do nothing to protect her.
Now, one of the things that I do want to say, and I would like to say to people out there that are listening, one of the things, if you have minor children, that in the event of your untimely death, that's something that needs to be put in a will. If you want that money distributed to a certain way, because they're underage to handle it, that has put into a will, or I think it goes into the estate otherwise.
You have to have name an executor of the estate, because they are minor.
Right.
And a lot of people have gotten caught up in that stuff. Also, one of the things I learned when we had our guest on the show about the bank situation, that if you have a bank account and in the event of your untimely death, and if you don't have a POD, pay on death, your stuff gonna be stuck for a minute in the bank. Ain't no money. Just understand, if you have a bank account and you have a POD, which means pay on demand, and something happens to you and you got a husband, it don't matter. They ain't getting no money from the bank account.
That's right. It's gonna be froze.
It's gonna be frozen.
Yeah.
So I'm like, man, let me hurry and go to the bank, because nobody is getting anything. We've had some guests on here that has really enlightened us about things that we were not aware of, especially from the funeral home perspective, because there were some things I wanted to know, about certain things. I think Malcolm said, it was burning my thing, because, the situations that occur, you have a lot of people out there that may have a wife at home. I'm going to say this. And you got a significant other over here. You got a significant other, you got a wife. So, sometimes the wife may be separated from the husband, but they're not divorced. That's going to bring in a whole can of worms too. So y'all over here, they ain't got no papers. Don't think you're going to come over here to the funeral home running some stuff.
Yep.
It does not happen.
Still got to say so.
I think I told y'all already. If I didn't, this is for the listening audience. I have a nightmare about a situation like that. My uncle. I got a nightmare. Yeah, it is. Listen, my uncle from Crockett, Texas. I hope my mom's not listening, but get your switch ready, mama, because I'm telling this story. My uncle passed away a few years ago.
You got family in Crockett?
Yes, ma'am. The Phillips. the Phillips family in Crockett. Um, my uncle passed away. He had, I mean,
The Rolling Stone.
I don't know how many acres he had,
Oh.
but he had about between 50 and 100 acres, let's just say.
Right.
And when he passed away, he was going to set his family up, us. He named cows after us. He named horses after
Oh
us.
wow.
So when he passed away,
Okay.
that was his gift to us. Well, he didn't know, unbeknownst to him, X amount of years ago, let's just say 20, 30 years ago,
Right.
his divorce was never finalized.
Oh
Wow.
wow.
So
Oh
the
wow.
so the old wife came in and said,
Take
Mhm.
everything.
y'all ain't getting nothing.
Yeah.
No,
It's hers.
This is
Hers.
mine.
Mhm.
it happens.
So
Mhm.
y'all better watch yourselves. That's
Yeah,
all I
and
say.
it does happen. It
Mhm.
happens all the time. There was a situation in my family like that where, that happened. Anybody get nothing.
Ain't nobody getting
And
nothing.
if you got a wife over here and you got a living with somebody and you pass away, that wife gonna have to come in there and sign that paperwork for the release of that
Mhm.
body.
Oh,
Don't
yeah.
think you're gonna come in there wagging and wearing your red bottom shoes and your skirt and everything running that.
That's
It
right.
ain't happening.
Mhm.
It is not going to happen. And a lot of people are unaware of that. Those things. There's a lot that you can learn from from insurance
That's right.
that you can and cannot do. It goes deeper than just owning a policy.
Mhm.
People think, oh, I got a policy that is, but you need to know how to work with that policy
Mhm.
when you get it. People don't understand if you've been incarcerated or you're incarcerated. You have parents calling wanting to get policies for
And you
their
cannot.
children that are incarcerated. You can't get no policy on nobody because they are awarded to the state at the moment.
Mhm.
They can't come in and say, oh, my son's incarcerated in Cofield or Estelle or whatever, and I need to get a policy on him. It ain't
It's
happening.
not happening.
I,
Ain't happening.
I
He
would
high risk.
Yes.
I would like to say this though, because this is something my nonprofit is going to start doing. Now you might not be able. Y'all taught me this. Yeah,
Mhm.
I won't be able to get life insurance on my loved one who's incarcerated. But something that really hurts my soul is when we allow our loved ones to come home with nothing.
Mm.
So part of my nonprofit is going to be, okay, you can't get life insurance on me, but you can get it on yourself, mama, uncle,
Right.
wife, girlfriend,
Mhm.
whoever, so that when I come home 20 years from now, I'm not a product of the system. I'm not going
Right.
to risk my life to get like back up again because my family took care of me.
Mhm.
Right.
Mhm.
My feelings on it is if my family loves me or loves, it doesn't have to be me. I'm just saying,
Yeah.
if families love their family members who are incarcerated, they should set them up for success
That's right.
instead of setting them up for failure when they come home.
Mm-hmm.
True, very true. But you got to be able to want to change also.
True.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the number one thing, because you get a lot of
True.
them that come out that's not really ready.
They don't belong in society.
They don't belong. They still ain't ready. They still doing the same old
Oh,
shit
Yes,
that
ma'am.
they were doing when they got locked up,
True.
before they got locked
True.
up.
Not
So now
not speaking for them.
if someone really wants to change, I
Yes,
can
ma'am.
understand that. But why should I go spending my money on you when you're doing the same old stuff?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not speaking for them. I'm
Yeah,
speaking
no,
for
I'm
the,
just saying.
the
but
ones who've gone up there and really tried to
Yeah, of course,
rehabilitate themselves.
because I'm a strong believer everybody in prison ain't guilty.
It ain't
Right.
not.
Everybody in prison ain't guilty.
Yeah, that's $1 million industry right there.
Right.
$1 billion.
Can you imagine how wealthy families would be if they were putting insurance on individuals that are incarcerated, because they doing some crazy stuff in there every day.
Every day.
Every day
Yeah.
people are dying in there
If you go
for
back and
being stabbed, shanked, diseases, just being sick in general.
if
And
you
that's
go back in history, back in the time of slavery, slave owners placed insurance policies on their property, which was the slaves.
Yes, absolutely. We had, I think we had a show about that a couple of months ago. I think I talked about that, how the slave owners, put insurance on their slaves
I said
and
that
everything.
runs me high.
Yes,
Yeah.
Yeah,
they did.
So if they were if it was important for them to protect their investment of purchasing a slave, then how much more important is it for me to protect my family? People don't think like that. They're like, oh, we'll take care of it. We'll take care of it.
Because,
and you study putting it off, but now, little Juju or whatever he want to call him, he didn't got shot and killed because he was in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Because most people overthink or overestimate the cost of life insurance by 3 times or more.
Yeah.
They think it's so expensive, and it's not, because they don't do their research. Again, we don't read.
Yep.
We do not read. We don't do our research on certain things. So we think it's more expensive than it really is. 1 in 3 families might not be able to meet their day-to-day expenses within a month of the person, of the breadwinner dying.
Yeah, that's right.
They can't, because again, they don't think about how important it is to have insurance.
Yeah, they don't think it's urgent.
You know what the statistics say? 5% of the children in the United States lose a parent before they're age 15.
That's crazy. That's a crazy stat.
5% of the children.
You know what I was thinking about? People are so big about, oh, I'm getting this amount of money back on my taxes. I'm getting this amount of money back on my taxes.
Now it's the time.
They go buy a bunch of foolery things, right? But what you need to do is go get your insurance policy and go ahead and pay it up for the year.
Yes.
And every year that you do your taxes, go ahead and pay it up. Because at the end of the day, you're gonna blow that money like it was 1999.
Exactly. And it's
crawfish and lobster every day.
Every day. Go buy a car that you can't afford that's gonna get repoed in 6 months.
I said lobster, king crab.
Yeah,
king crab.
It's king crab.
So you gotta think smarter instead of putting your family through a harder situation. What women love the name brand purses, the Coaches, Michael Kors. I'm guilty of it. I love Michael Kors, but I'm gonna make sure that Michael Kors ain't gonna, Michael Kors can't put me in the ground. Michael Kors ain't gonna take care of the bills if something happens to me. So I'm gonna make sure before I go buy another Michael Kors purse, I'm gonna pay my premium.
Right, and not only that, people don't understand also that the cost of purchasing life insurance can increase by 8% to 12% on the average. But each year you delay it. It gets higher and higher because you become another year older.
Yeah.
So every year it gets higher and higher and more expensive. If you're healthy as a horse now, go ahead and get the policy.
Protect
your family.
Even with home buying, people say, "Oh, I'm gonna wait." But the prices of houses not coming down, but you still want to wait. And then 10 years later, you're like, that house I could have got for $70,000 10 years ago is $350,000 now. So don't wait because you don't know what those premiums going to be in 5-10 years.
Somebody made a valid point to me. I forgot who it was, but in the last 2 months, somebody said this to me. And this goes out to those who think they can't afford life insurance. He was like, all these people have these jobs and they robbing Peter to pay Paul, but here they got this brand new car sitting in the parking lot. Why don't you take that car and go get you a cash car? That saves you $700 to $1,000 in monthly payments and insurance every month that you could be investing. So a year or two from now, you can be set. Well, not set, but you can be well on your way. And that could help you afford some of the things we're talking about tonight, life insurance. Right. Yeah, that was smart. Instead of getting a brand new car, just get you $5,000. Yeah, it might not be what you want right now.
Because they have group policies for families. There's group policies for families that you don't have to get an individual policy.
Yeah,
there's a group family policy that you can obtain, and everything. And one of the other things for those grandparents that are out there listening, grandparents don't know that they can put a policy on their grandchildren without the parents' permission.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? All they need
when they're 18.
Yes. They can put a policy on that grandchild as long as they have the child's
date of birth,
name and date of birth. You don't need no children's permission. Used to. And can you imagine how much Black grandparents got back in back trying to get their grandkids covered because that parent or their child's not living their life correctly.
That's right.
That I can just imagine.
Yeah.
I can totally imagine. So you don't need my kids. I don't need my kids' permission if that's what I choose to do with my grandkids.
Right. You don't need that permission.
I don't need no permission to get no insurance on my grandkids because
you don't need no social.
I don't need no social. All I need is a name, a date of birth, and I got that. It's in the Bible.
Yeah, you say,
it's in the Bible. That's the safest place for it, is in the Bible.
It was basketball for college. The college went and did a loan for $4 million to put a life insurance policy on the coach, and then did another $2 million loan to get additional life insurance because of what he brought to the school. You know, he made the school a lot of money by winning so many games. But if when I read that, I was blown away, because I'm like, so y'all took out $6 million in loans to put a policy on this man because of the money he's making at school. But somebody is,
But the school owns that policy,
the
though.
school owns it because they have insurable interest.
Right, right. The school owns that. And that's the same thing with your job. People walk around here you talk to them about insurance. Well, I got insurance on my job. That job is not promised, because as soon as you're laid off of that job, or they fire you from that job, that insurance is gone.
Yeah.
And people don't realize it's going to be gone. So I always say, get a second policy.
Yeah.
Get a second policy, because if your job tell you today or tomorrow, matter of fact, you ain't gonna want it after you get fired, because it's so high. By the time you get through paying $800 or $900 or $1,200 a month, you'll be like, the hell with this.
Yeah.
You can get it much cheaper than that, or just to have a policy. You don't even. I never take life insurance out on a job I've been on. You know why? Because I got my own personal policy. But why am I going to be allowing you to take money out of my check?
Yeah, and I had to.
And then I'm actually not going to be there, and that's just money I wasted.
Yeah, I had to learn that the hard way, because I just got injured on the job. Y'all know I'm just coming back from having surgery, so I'm no longer employed by that company because I've been out for over a year now. But the life insurance policy, I said, "Oh, give me the maximum amount." And I'm paying all this money into this policy.
And they don't want to pay.
I don't have a job. So what happens to all the money? They're not going to give it back to me.
No, they're not.
If you're working a job, I would highly recommend, based on
whole life policy.
Get you a whole life policy. Outside of that, if they're gonna insure you with the amount that you don't have to pay for, get that amount that they're gonna pay for. It's free to you, but get you a policy outside of it.
Right. The whole life policy is going to cover everything that you're going to need in one.
Right.
So, like I said, I never pay for insurance on my job. For what?
Yeah.
Because it's gone.
That's right.
I'm no longer there, and it's not going to pay me anything back when I leave.
People see the importance of medical insurance, but medical insurance is not going to pay your mortgage if you lose your job. Medical insurance is not going, if your car breaks down, you can't pull that cash out of your medical insurance to pay for your car repair so you can continue to go to work. They don't think of stuff like that. They're like, oh, I got to have medical insurance. I have to have medical insurance. But, just like, it takes time sometimes for you to use a life insurance policy. I went 3 years without going to the doctor, but I still paid them premiums every month.
Exactly. And it's so weird that we're talking about that now, because we didn't know better. I didn't know better. I did the crazy stuff too. I bought the expensive stuff. Didn't have insurance, life insurance back in the day, my younger days, because we think we're invincible. We think we're not going anywhere. We think we're going to be around forever. But the older I got, I see the younger ones, younger than me, leaving this earth. You know what I'm saying? Or people even in my own age group leaving this earth. You know what I'm saying? That you never thought.
I mean, just this week, today, one of my classmates was buried today. I have two classmates that's going to be buried tomorrow. John just lost his cousin today, this morning. You used to not hear of so many deaths that happen, back to back like this.
All the time.
I passed by Paradise Funeral Home one day, maybe about a month ago, and I was counting all the green tents. I counted 17 green tents
out there in that field.
That's just the ones that I can see because their land goes
Yeah, way back.
So if
Yeah.
I can see 17 grave sites that they're waiting on the people to come in so they can put the body in the ground.
They're busy out there.
They're busy. Death is not going to stop happening just because you don't have a policy. It's not going to wait on you.
It doesn't discriminate. I tell you that.
Yeah.
One thing about death, it does not discriminate. So y'all better understand that. We can discriminate on this earth all we want to, but when our number's up, they don't give you black, white.
I'm sure
Asian.
out of those 17 grave sites, probably one of them only had life insurance.
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they fish frying and barbecuing.
And that's what we're trying
it's sad.
That's why we are trying to educate the community because it needs to stop. We need to stop holding barbecues and fish fries. We need to make sure that we cover our loved ones and so that for when we leave this earth, our families are protected.
Yeah. And then for those people that's 30 years old or even younger, you're like, oh well, I don't have children yet. Okay, well, get prepared because those children are coming.
Oh yeah,
before you have, a lot of women don't realize that when you have a baby growing inside of you, you start having health issues too.
Absolutely.
You may start being diabetic.
They change your whole life, including your body.
Yeah, so you may start having medical issues. Now, had you protected yourself prior to getting pregnant, then it would have been a whole lot cheaper. But now you got these medical issues that's not going away.
And trust me, having babies do cause medical issues more than we realize. Again, being young, that's why it's important that we get that coverage that's needed.
Yeah, I was talking to a young lady. Her mother put a policy on her when she was 18. She's now 42 years old.
Wow.
When she did have a baby, she was able to pull the cash value, some of the money that she built up in the cash value. She was able to take some of that money to go ahead and buy her baby bed, to get her nursery together. And she was like, I didn't have to pay taxes on that money.
Right.
I was able to get everything I needed for my baby.
And that's something else people don't realize, that when you have a policy and it passes on to your family member, there's no taxes that they have to pay. That was one of the things I experienced. I didn't have to pay for a policy when my dad or my stepmother passed away, and I inherited those policies. There was no taxes. I'm like, oh, I got to pay taxes on all this money, but I didn't. And again, that was my ignorance of not knowing, because it wasn't in the insurance business then. So I've learned a lot, with being in this business, And for those of you that are out there listening, we are hiring. We're hiring. You can call Veronica or myself or Kim, either one of the panelists that were on there. We have free trainings. We mentor you. We go out with your clients with you until you feel like you're able to go out there and on your own. So you're not, you're in business for yourself, but not by yourself. I'm putting it like that. You're in business for yourself, but not by yourself. We with you all the way there. So you can just give one of us a call. My number is 281-814-7332.
And my number is 832-655-1698.
And I don't know if Kim is there or not. Kim's number is 903-724-8451. And Denise Kinder, her number is 903-373-1482. So you can call either one of us, and we're more than happy to get you. We do free consultations as well. We can go over and do a policy review with you. So just give one of us a call. Again, it's not going to cost you anything. If you feel like that, you want to go with someone else, even after we give you the policy review, we're fine with that. We just want you to have insurance. So, we want you to make sure that your families are covered, and that you can leave a legacy back here, for your family. They don't have to be up there, and your kids don't have to say, my daddy or my mama died, they leave us nothing. Because, we will say that.
Oh, yeah.
You don't want to, I never want my kids to feel that way.
Oh, yeah.
Or my husband to feel that way. I didn't leave nothing back here for nobody.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You know,
a lot of them are leaving. They leaving them some. They leaving them a lot of debt.
yeah, that's the other thing. You can't acquire your parents dead when they're dead and gone.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I said earlier, if you have parents that are still living and they don't have, just sit down and have one of those conversations with them. Ask, hey, mom, dad, do you guys have insurance? Do you have life insurance? If not, then take the initiative to get some for them.
Yeah.
Because if they pass away, you're it's the kids are going to inherit that those bills.
And then what they don't think about is when our parents get to that age where they can't take care of themselves, and maybe we're too busy to take care of them. We
Mhm.
have to put them in a facility that's gonna be able to monitor them and make
Yes.
sure they take their medicine, which is the long term.
Mhm,
So
mhm.
these policies will help cover the long term care payments
Yeah,
as well.
yeah.
That stuff is not cheap. It can be
Mhm.
anywhere. For a pretty decent place. $8,000 to $10,000 a month.
Right.
Who has $8,000 to $10,000 a month to
Whew,
spare?
that's
If you're
expensive.
complaining that the life insurance policies are expensive, what you gonna do for your parent? You gonna put them outside?
And guys, we work with 25 different carriers. We're in all 49. We're in 49 states, so it doesn't matter where you are. We can help you get insured. Again, we have something pretty much for everybody, every age. Because I think I got a young, a couple of young kids insurance for like $2 a month. I got them like 25,000.
Yeah. Yeah.
For one of my clients, he had 3 grandkids, and he wanted something for his grandkids because he felt like the daughter wasn't living a very good life. She was in the fast lane. So he called me up and said, hey, I've got 3 grandkids. I want to get them something, to make sure they're okay if something happens because their mom's living fast. So I suggested also something that will grow with them.
Exactly.
That they can, carry on in the event that they go to college. If something happens, that money can, that will build up because they were little. I think one was like 7 months old, one was like 5, one was like
age.
4.
Yeah.
That money, parents don't realize that money can grow as they grow, and that can help put them, at least get them started into college. Depends on what their degree is. I'll put it like that. It's really important because I know my grandparents, my dad's parents, had my brother. As a matter of fact, they had each one of their children's grandkids in a policy from when they were born.
Right.
And I took my grandmother, before she passed away, that money was cashed in. She got pretty darn good off my brother. My brother was in his 40s then. Can you imagine the amount of money she accumulated from those policies of her grandkids?
Yeah.
Because she had all of them, at least 1 or 2 of them from each one of her kids when they first were born. So, but back then, you had to get the kid's name and you had to get the parents' permission.
Right.
To do that. Nowadays, I don't need no permission to do nothing with my grandkids.
Yeah. It's so affordable now.
But not mess with me and my grandkids now.
Like you said, that was on a 7-month-old. I put
That's right.
A whole term policy on my baby girl. She's 15, and it cost me $14 a month for $35,000 worth of coverage.
Yeah, and they still have. Yeah, I know a lot of us grew up on that Gerber, but they still have Gerber Life around.
Yeah, they do.
Oh, yeah.
Gerber Life is around, and Gerber Life will take almost anybody. I've learned that. So Gerber Life will. Kim's laughing. We think that Gerber Life is for kids. Gerber Life got a whole lot of benefits I learned in the last month that I didn't even know nothing about.
Okay.
Gerber Life
Me too.
84, 85, Kim.
Yep.
They will take you.
Yes.
Whole bunch of illnesses, cancer and stuff like that. I didn't realize that. I thought Gerber Life was for babies.
Oh yeah.
Little kids, because that's the first thing they give you at the hospital. A little thing with that little baby on it and stuff. Is that Brooke Shields on the Gerber Life?
I only remember babies.
It was a baby on there. I think it was Brooke Shields.
I think it was her.
Yeah,
I think it's Brooke Shields as a baby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's still hanging in.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And then for those who don't qualify for those type policies, you still have the burial policy.
Yes, absolutely.
I had a client. I had a client they're from Africa. So her mother goes back and forth. She spends 6 months here, 6 months there. And because she's here 6 months out the year, we were able to put a burial policy on her because she wants to be buried in Africa. And her daughter's thing was that she just wanted to get enough money to ship her mom's body back to Africa and
because it's so expensive.
Yeah, so
because they have rituals back there, unlike here. They have rituals that they prepare for their loved ones that come to the States. So that's why they just want them shipped back there. They don't allow them to be
right.
Right. So, even if
it's expensive too.
Yeah, because they do foreign national policies. So, it's rules and stipulations with it, but find out what is going to work for you.
Kim, correct me if I'm wrong. Isn't if you don't have a social, then you can get a policy with your card, with your green card?
Yes.
Yeah, I think so. So
yes, ma'am.
Okay, yes. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, if you're here,
you can.
States and you're of a nationality, and you don't have a social, you can't obtain a policy.
Yeah.
Now, if you want to become an agent of the insurance business, you have to be a resident of California to get your license there using your ITIN, and then you can do business here with us by applying as a non-resident.
That's right.
So that's what we do when we decide that we have other clients in other states. We just apply for a non-resident license to become a non-resident of that state in order to sell insurance in that state. There's no testing. I think New York is the only one that has testing.
I believe so.
Yeah, New York. So New York can stay where it's at. I mean, that's serious because I heard they tested the whoop. It's kind of
happy vibes is so right. Did y'all see that?
What
y'all reading the comment from Happy Vibes, Daiquiri Island ago?
I didn't see that one.
It says budget in life insurance into your monthly bills because it's more important than anything you'll ever purchase.
Absolutely, absolutely, it is. It's we don't think that it's important, like I said earlier, until we need it.
Yeah.
We can't stress it enough.
We cannot stress it enough.
No. And I think a lot of times, unless you have gone through a situation where you were left holding the bill and trying to figure out how you were going to bury a loved one, I don't think for a lot of the younger generation, they don't understand that importance.
Kim, I can't hear you now.
Y'all can't hear me?
Okay, now I can hear you. Yeah. I can hear you now.
Oh, okay. I was saying that a lot of the younger generation, I think, because they haven't experienced what it's like to lose someone and not have insurance and try to figure it out of how you're going to bury them, how you're going to make the funeral arrangements, where you're going to make the funeral arrangements, how you're going to proceed with all that, get a minister to oversee the funeral, how you're going to get the programs. It's a lot to it. The clothing, the transportation of the body from another. Unless you have had that experience of having to do that, it's hard to actually fathom the importance of having coverage to take care of that.
Yeah, because I think we were told, Kim, that when you start looking for burial insurance, you should start getting insurance above $9,000 because the funerals are so expensive.
Yes, ma'am.
Right.
So don't start and think that you're gonna get somebody buried for $4,000. It ain't happening.
No.
It is not going to happen. It's not going to happen. So they always recommend that if you're going to be getting burial insurance, start at $9,000 above.
That's right.
Because I'm telling you that.
And don't think that because you want to do cremation, that cremation is cheaper, because now that there has been a more popular option for people, because there was a difference in the price, it has gone up as well.
Yeah. Because now they're having all kinds of funerals. I think one of the things we talked about, people having all these propped up.
Oh my God.
bodies.
That scares me.
I don't want to be disrespectful to the dead, but they're propped up or standing in different poses.
Don't
or
prop me
whatever.
up when I die. You tell my kids, don't prop me up, don't put me behind nothing. Let me just lay down because I'm tired. I want to rest.
God, daughter, your mama don't want it.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
you gotta. It's expensive. Trust me, I know firsthand.
Oh yeah.
Yes. We all
Teach your
know.
children about life insurance. Yes, happy vibes. You are so right. We need to teach our
Yes,
children the
it's educating them.
importance about life insurance
Yes,
at all ages.
we all know that December is ending. But life insurance awareness doesn't have to. It doesn't end. So we need to make sure we all have a plan
That's
in
right.
place.
Yeah,
You
we
know,
need to start the new year off right with some life insurance.
I always say if it's not with us, guys, have a plan with somebody. Have a plan with any agent or agency, but make sure you have a plan. Going into 2024, it's so important
Yeah.
to be covered.
Remember that something is better than nothing. People think, oh,
That's
if I can get a $200,000-$300,000 policy, I'm gonna have to just wait until I can afford it. But if you get a $20,000 policy, it still covers, being able to bury you and being able to maybe pay something out for your family.
But not only that, even if you can't afford what you want right now, get something, because you can always go back and up that policy. People don't understand that. You may not get that $1 million policy that you want. You may get 100,000,
Right?
Because you may have some kind of stipulations, or even if people don't understand. Also, if you have illnesses and you get better, and you no longer taking those medications that the doctor has prescribed for you,
Yeah.
you can go back in and apply for what you're wanting as far as a policy and amount, and just make statements to each one of those medications. Hey, I'm no longer taking this as of this date. I started on this day, but as of this day. And those things are taken in consideration by the underwriters.
Yeah.
So the underwriters are the ones that make the final decisions
Mhm.
as to whether you get that policy or not. So if your health improves drastically, yes, go back. By all means, go back and get what you feel like you want.
Yeah. One of my friends, her mom lost over 100 and some pounds naturally by working out, eating healthier, and things like that. But she did the weight loss deal because she needed to lower her blood pressure. She found out she was diabetic. She was having sleep apnea issues and things like that. Well, once she lost all the weight, all those issues that she was experiencing went away with no problem. She never had to take another pill. So she did take her policy and say, hey, this is what it is. Her policy dropped by $75 a month.
I can imagine. Yeah, those things are those are the things that are taken in consideration in the process of trying to obtain a policy, because our health is so important.
Yeah. And you think about
important.
with all the streaming that we do, we pay for Netflix, we pay for Hulu, we pay for Sling, and all these different entities that you really don't even need because it's on the smart TVs anyway. But you're paying all these different items just so you can watch a certain show.
So you see, Veronica, I need to get rid of my DirecTV.
Listen, I don't have it, because at the end of the day, they play the same thing over and over anyway. So you end up saying, okay, well, let me find something else to watch. But the money that you're spending, it can be used towards purchasing a life insurance policy.
Absolutely.
I sat there a few months back and I looked at, in my bank account and saw all these charges for all the different things that's coming out, all these different subscriptions. I had over $400 and something a month in subscriptions that I probably don't even look at.
Don't need.
So I went and started canceling this, canceling that. I said, oh my God,
I'm making some changes 2024. I don't even watch TV. I don't even know why I have it. I don't even watch TV. But I do watch. I watch.
Hey, I got a food for thought.
What's that?
Do y'all remember whenever they made having liability insurance a priority? You had to have it. It was law. They made it law.
Yeah.
What if the government decide to make life insurance law as well for your life?
We can take a debate to Congress.
How would you handle that?
It needs to be, because Now I think if you live in certain cities, um, I think the city would pay a certain amount of money towards a funeral. Um, People don't know that,
It's
but they
not that
will.
much. It ain't but $250.
That's what I'm saying.
It ain't that
$250.
much.
That may be just the
That's
substance of
not
the
even
That
end.
much.
even enough
You can't get a
to
headstone
dig
with
the
that.
grave.
And not only
No,
that, people.
that's just the gas to get the hearse. That's just the gas to get the hearse from the funeral home to the cemetery.
And then not only that, VA people who are veterans, when they die and come home, the VA don't pay a whole bunch either, not even for the true headstone. That's
No,
you've gone out and you fought for
no,
that
they don't.
country, and it's
Yeah.
not they don't pay much.
That's right.
I'm like, man,
Social
again, this
Security doesn't either.
No,
no,
I mean, I've come across so many people that retire, they draw their Social Security, and they go back to work because they don't have enough income to support their bills. And Medicare is expensive.
yes, and not only that, one other note I want to mention, people who have these 401ks, they don't realize they're losing money.
Yeah.
You guys have all these 401ks out there. Y'all don't realize when the market, it goes up, but when it comes down, it crashes.
It crashes.
You're losing money in that policy, that 401k. That's what we always recommend. If you have a 401k, get it over into an annuity. I do Veronica as well as Kim and Denise, we all do annuities. So
That's right.
as well. So make sure that your money is protected. Again, that's your bank.
Yeah, because with the annuities, it when the market goes down, your money stays still.
Stays the same. Yeah, it's gonna stay the same. So yeah, make sure that
That's
you
what
don't
you want to
want to lose your money. A lot of people have lost money in 401ks, not knowingly. I have as well.
Mm-hmm.
In the past, lost money in 401ks. Not again, my ignorance to not knowing.
Yeah. Because we were told
We weren't told.
You had to put money in a 401k.
You had to put money in a 401k. 401ks don't save your money.
And then what they don't understand, 401k is just a tax code anyway.
It's a tax code. Code.
Another way to keep you poor.
Yeah.
Yes. And then you can't get it when you want it because you got to be a certain age before you can get it out,
and then
or you be penalized.
Yeah, they're gonna penalize
heavily.
the mess out of you. 20%.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely.
They allow you to see all the
That's
things
right.
that are going to keep you in poverty.
Yeah. So the best way that you can do is take your money out of that 401k, put it in an annuity, and be your own bank.
Yeah.
Become your own bank, people. People don't understand that. Being your own bank. Again,
Right.
That Rockefellers got to where they as wealthy as they are. They took that money and they put all their money that they earned into annuities.
Oh yeah.
They borrowed on that money, put it back. Someone died. They took that money from the death of that person and put it into a bank.
Mm-hmm.
Their own bank of and reinvesting it in themselves. So y'all better do some homework. Because I'll be reading. I learn how to read. I read more now than ever. I go to sleep reading.
Oh yeah, and I'm
telling you.
But I was talking to a young man. I think he's about 35, 36 years old, and he started his own business when he was 21. So what he would do is after he paid his bills, whatever money he had left over, he would sit it to the side. When he had $1,000 of overage in that money, he would put it into an annuity account. So every month he was putting the money in. That way, when he got, I think like I said, he's 30 years old now. He's been doing it since he was 2.
Wow.
He had the right amount of money put up.
I can imagine.
Yeah. And, it collect interest and everything like that.
Awesome.
And it's
being a little entrepreneur.
Yeah. And that's something that we have to teach the youth because, they'll be able to be millionaires by the time they're in their 40s if they do things the right way.
Yeah.
Right.
And again, that's things that when we were growing up, we weren't taught about financial literacy or in the importance of having insurance. Again, I recall growing up as a little girl in Conroe, I recall the insurance man coming to my grandmother's house, knocking on the door, and she giving him a payment or whatever, he writing it in a little book.
Right.
But nowadays, people don't understand. A lot of the companies, we don't door knock. because insurance is so easy now. We can do it via over the phone with you. We can do it via Zoom with you,
Yeah.
or we can do it in person. It's whatever your preference is. We're mobile. We can go anywhere. We like Star Trek.
Yeah, and then on top of it,
We go wherever.
it's no longer safe to door knock anyway. I mean, look at
It
the
really
young man who
isn't.
lost his life because he knocked on the door thinking it was a certain house. So it's not safe anyway.
It
You
really
know,
isn't.
so we're gonna protect
I love
ourselves.
a good Zoom
Yeah,
presentation.
we're gonna protect ourselves while we protect you.
Exactly. Exactly. I like that. It's a t-shirt.
Okay.
So our whole goal, guys, if you're out there listening, our whole entire goal is to make coverage contagious, by all means.
Oh yeah.
Getting the word out to our family and our friends, um, of the importance of being, having coverage, being covered, having the insurance that, um, when you're no longer on this earth, your families can be at ease.
Yeah.
They can be at peace, knowing that, hey, mom or dad or uncle or somebody did make sure that we were okay.
Yeah. That they can continue to go
You, we
on.
can you can
even
continue
when-
to live on,
Mhm.
and just hopefully that if that does happen, you can do the same things for your kids, and it
Right.
can make it an ongoing family tradition to just keep it going,
Mhm.
keep it going. Because sometimes we can get lax and stuff. Say, oh, I'm gonna let this go. I don't need it right now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we need it.
People think
I need it.
people think that if I put my money into investment properties, then I can become wealthy. If I do this, I can do that. But they, like you said earlier, the Rockefellers, they did it with
Yes.
insurance, and they use that. They pull money out and put it over here. They may have done an investment with it,
Mhm.
but they continue to grow their money through insurance.
Exactly. And that's how they became wealthy. And if you go back and you look at the history of the Rockefellers, it's going to tell you exactly how they became wealthy. I was totally mesmerized
Yes.
reading. I'm telling you, that was intriguing to me, because I'm like, damn, they used
Insurance.
insurance to become wealthy.
And
And
hid,
that's
Who would have
something
ever knew? Who would have knew?
That's
and
something
hid
they
it from everybody else.
continue
Yes.
to teach all generations of their bloodline so that they can continue that wealth.
And that's what we need to do with our family and our kids. We need to teach them the importance. Okay, if I pass away today or tomorrow, my husband passed away, we hope our kids will keep that tradition going. Take
Yeah.
that money and put it back in the bank. You got kids, they have children.
Mhm.
Teach those children about the importance of financial literacy. Teach those children about the importance of having,
Mhm.
insurance. Let them read how the Rockefellers became,
Mhm.
start at a young age.
Yeah.
At a young age, because I'm telling you, I knew
Right.
nothing,
Man. So
nothing about the insurance
when I
business.
learned about the importance of insurance and how it can create wealth was when I was taking care of elderly white people. The husband, he was retired Navy. The wife used to be a journalist, a reporter for the White House. They had so many life insurance policies that when the husband passed, he left. Well, the wife passed first. She left $500 billion in policies.
Mhm.
Then the husband didn't need it. He was they were very well off.
Mhm.
But when the husband died, he had another 500 million. So you had $1 billion that went to their grandkids because they knew how to manipulate
Mhm.
this
Mhm.
insurance deal.
And people don't understand. You can't have more than one insurance
Yeah.
policy. You can never, and I'm going to say this, you can never ever
Right.
have too many
Exactly.
policies. You can have 15 if you want to.
Now you do have to.
I got 3.
You do have to let the when you apply and let them know
That you
have
do,
these
right.
policies. 'Cause they
Right,
will
because that
question
is
you.
on the application as well.
Yeah, they will question
Are you,
about it.
do you have any other policies out there? That is one of the questions on the application. But you don't have to feel like you're constrained to just one policy. You can have as many policies as you want to. That's what the
right.
Rockefellers did.
That's right.
And that's how they became wealthy. $1 million over here, $1 million over there, and those $1 million kept going on and on and on.
Mhm.
So they became wealthy. One person passed away, another $1 million policy. They do what they need to do, put it back into the bank.
Yeah.
And then another, you know what I'm saying? And we need to start doing the same thing. Just think how many people did that, how many wealthy people it will be. Not telling y'all to go out there and kill somebody because you got a policy. Okay. But
you look at areas like River Oaks and people like, oh, they didn't have to work for their money. No, they didn't have to, because their families put them in position to where they gain wealth through their insurance.
You know, Kim, you know that old saying that we used to have, that certain areas of town, that old money. That's where that old money came from. Those are
old money. Yeah.
That's old money. And people don't understand. I never understood what they would say. What do you mean old money? Old money is that insurance money that people became wealthy from inheriting it.
The 1920s.
Yes.
That's
right. That's what I got, old money over here.
Yeah.
It took me a while to understand what that meant.
Yeah. And they kept it going.
Yes.
Keep it going. Yes, most definitely.
You got some black folks that got some old Negro money.
Yeah,
they wealthy too, because again, they were smart enough to learn from the other nationality about how to get that money.
Right.
That's true. Right.
Kim silly.
That's the truth, though.
You said old Negro money. She bust out laughing.
True. They got that Negro money.
Yeah.
That's what they called it back in the day, Negro money.
I was thinking about Malcolm. I was thinking about 40 acres of the mule. They sold the 40 acres of the mule. That's what I was thinking about, Malcolm. I said, damn, you made me come out with
to what their slave owners or whoever was doing, so that they can duplicate the system. The system is so easy. It's set before us, but we don't take the time to read.
It's put in front of us. We just need to read.
Yeah,
we don't read,
and we don't duplicate it because we're like, I'm good. I don't have to do it for the next one.
Right.
Because I got. Say for instance, you inherited $300,000 from your mother or your father or whatever. Okay, well, what you gonna do for your children? Are you gonna do the same for them so that they can live a little bit better, so that they're not struggling as much, or do they need to go work 3 or 4 jobs to try to make ends meet?
They need to work at the same time and put the money over here. The money ain't for them to be using when they want to with craziness. Yeah, you still gotta work. Yeah, but work and invest in yourself with policies as well. Don't just think because I don't left you money behind, you ain't gotta do nothing. No, you need to do something.
Now you still gotta work.
You still gotta work.
Say if a man don't work, he don't eat.
He don't eat.
You still gotta put that work.
Yes, absolutely. Don't work, you don't eat.
That's it.
You don't eat, so we gonna work.
Preach.
I'm still working so I can eat.
That's right.
But I'm investing to become wealthy. I'm investing so I can become wealthy. I'm trying to be like, I know I'm 63, but I wish I had known better sooner than now. I would have been a Rockefeller too.
Yeah.
If I'd known that. So hopefully my kids and my grandkids will look back and say, wow, grandma talked about this. So hell, we're going to do the thing too. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? But it all starts at home.
Right.
Yeah. It all starts at a young age.
It's a domino effect.
It's a domino effect.
If children can sit here and listen to all this stuff on the radio, and they can take
it in
an instant.
That's always been my motto with my kids.
If I tell you something, you should be able to remember it and embrace what I'm saying.
Absolutely, absolutely. But we don't, because we don't. Our kids sometimes don't take us serious. Again, technology has their attention. We don't have their attention anymore.
No.
Like, we feel like we should, because all these different technologies coming out every day. There's something new coming out. So that's what gets their attention, that they're willing to learn, but not willing to learn about business.
Right.
Not willing to learn about business.
Right.
Like they always say, you want to hide some information from somebody, put it in a book.
That's right.
True. It's always been the thing.
I was watching this movie the other night. I don't remember the name of it, but Michael B. Jordan was in it, and Benjamin Franklin was a firefighter, and they were burning books, and he didn't even understand why he was burning books, but every now and then he would get a memory of his dad with a book in his hand, but they were trying to take those memories away, because they were showing that people that didn't have knowledge because they didn't read would believe anything.
Yeah, absolutely. If you don't read for yourself,
wow, that's true.
Yeah. You think about it. If I don't read, and you tell me something, I don't go research it, I'm going to believe exactly what you say because I don't know any better.
Right.
But in order for us to do better as a people, we have to know better.
That's right.
You know, and we don't know how to do better with life insurance. We don't know how important it is to have life insurance. We think it's just a joke. You know, like I said, here a few months back before I got during the summer, I'm at the car wash. Kid drives up in a Maserati, zooming. And I'm looking at him. He out there washing his car and stuff. I walked over to him, gave him my car. I said, I introduced myself and told him exactly what I did. They got sniggered. I said, so I guarantee you got insurance on this car? He goes, yeah, chewing his gum. I said, but I bet you don't have life insurance on yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Guess what he said? No, he didn't.
Mm-mm.
That's sad. You're driving a fast car.
Yeah.
But no insurance.
That's right.
On you. And they're young. They look like they were about in their early 20s, 21, 22.
Yeah.
Because I told him, this must be your dad's car. He says, it's my car.
Well, you have a lot of young kids that they're social media influencers and they're millionaires already. And they have no life insurance.
But look how many of these social media influencers are dying daily.
Yeah.
No insurance.
Exactly. None.
Because they're using their money that they're making on everything else but that.
Oh, yeah. That's right. I took my youngest daughter and a friend of hers to go ride go-karts one day, and it happened to be, just that particular day, it was a group of social media influencers. They had the cameras and everything, and they were driving Lamborghinis, Maseratis, Maybachs. I mean, cars that, I'm definitely, it's not in my price range. But I asked one of them, I said, so how much was your car? He said, it was $100 and some thousand. I said, so you have insurance on the car? He was like, oh, yeah, I paid X amount of money. He was 19 years old, so his insurance policy was extremely expensive. I said, so what if something happens to you where you get into an accident because you're driving really fast on this highway? I said, what if something happens to you? I said, what happens to your family? Oh, well, they just got to pay for themselves. That's not the response that you need to make.
But that's what we get with this younger generation.
Yeah, because we
wouldn't dare think to say anything like that. You know what I'm saying? We would not dare think to say anything like that.
But many of their parents don't know the right thing, to do when it comes to life insurance because they're unaware. Mm-hmm. They also believe that myth about the 3 times of the price of what it is. So, we have to get out there and just really, really get it out there, to let people know that, this is very affordable.
Right. Well, guys, I think our time is about up. Kim, thank you for joining us via satellite. Where's she at?
She right there.
Kim Reed. She can't hear me. Can't hear you.
Can y'all hear me now?
I can hear you now. You on mute. I said, thank you for joining us from Palestine, Texas.
Absolutely. My pleasure.
We'll be doing more of these and everything. So remember, guys, December is ending in a few hours. I'll say 72 hours or less. But life insurance doesn't have to end. So we need to just make sure we got a plan in place. And if not with us, as I said earlier, with somebody. So start the new year off right, 2024, with making sure that you have a plan and that your family is covered, that you cover your family.
That's right.
With life insurance. So our goal is to make coverage contagious.
Coverage contagious.
So with all of you out there listening, I'd like to, in the listening audience, thank you guys for tuning in tonight. We appreciate you. And then remember, like and share the video with other family members as well as friends. If you have any questions that you didn't want to ask online while you were viewing with us, please feel free to give us a call. My name is Joyce Schofield. My number is 281-814-7332. I'm your host here at Let's Talk Coverage Over Cocktails. And Kim? Hello.
I'm Kimberly Hutchison. My number is 903-724-8451. I think I am a delay.
And I'm Veronica Haley. My phone number is 832-655-1698.
And for Denise Kinder, Denise, I think, is no longer online with us. If you have questions for Denise, please feel free to give her a call at 903-373-1482. Both Kim and Denise are in East Texas, but we're all over. Like I said, we can help you via Zoom, by phone call, or in person. Just let us know what your preference is. We're in 49 states, not 50, because I don't think we're in Puerto Rico yet, but in Hawaii. But we are in 49 states. Again, thank you for joining us tonight. And ladies, what we gonna say? Let's make coverage contagious.
Coverage contagious.
Love
you guys.
Love you too. Bye.
Thank y'all for tuning in tonight, y'all. This was another edition of Let's Talk Coverage Over Cocktails on Real Talk 100 Radio. I want y'all to tune in every Friday night. We're probably going to start doing this a lot more, this going virtual, because as Joyce mentioned earlier, two of our hosts live in East Texas, up in Palestine, Texas, and making that drive every week is taxing on their vehicles, taxing on their lives. And so we'll probably start doing this a lot more. But y'all tune in. If you want to learn more about taxes, if you want to learn more about life insurance policies, annuities, how to turn life insurance into your own bank, your own family's bank, let's start by going and read the book from the Rockefellers. I'm not sure what it's titled, but it'll give you a lot of information on that.
Yeah, I'll find out, and I'll get back with everyone on next week.
Okay, because I think that's
a book.
I think that's a lot of people's problems, but people don't like I have the shirt on. It's let's make it contagious. A lot of people aren't going to go outside of the box because they're not familiar.
Right, absolutely.
Yeah, they're going to be like, oh yeah, it sounds good, but I don't know nothing about that.
Right.
But if you give them the book where the knowledge is,
the book. I'll definitely bring the book with me next Friday. So everyone will know what the book is. I didn't write the name of the book is, but there is a book on the history of how the Rockefellers became as wealthy as they are today.
There you go. I haven't read it, but I'm a YouTuber. I'm in YouTube college right now. I sit and listen to these gurus talk about it all day, and they don't necessarily refer to the book, but they refer to the same knowledge that's in the book.
And there's a little snippet I think on YouTube or TikTok or something or Facebook that you can view, and it'll tell you little bits and pieces in between of as to.
I think it's on Audible as well.
Yeah, how they became wealthy using insurance. Mm-hmm.
Yes, ma'am. I like to say, be your own bank. That's why I like this show so much. I want to be my own bank. I'm like Joyce said earlier. She's 63. I'm 54. We're learning late, but the last 20, 30, maybe 50 years, I want to be living like the Rockefellers.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So, the first 50, the information went over our heads. The next 50, I want the information right here in my hands.
That's right.
And that's what this show is about, putting this information right in your hands.
Absolutely.
That brings us to a conclusion to the Let's Talk Coverage Over Cocktail show on Real Talk 100 Radio. We'll see y'all next Friday night on the show. Good night, everybody.
Thank you. Good night, everybody.
Oh, wait a minute. Let me put y'all on the camera. Go ahead. Good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody. Let's make coverage contagious. Bye.
Good night.
Happy New Year, everyone.
Happy New Year. Happy New Year.
That was pretty good. That was pretty good.
That was a good one.
It was a good one. What I did was, I typed up with it. It's not. Everybody.
Yes.
You know, and I just kind of pulled off this one here in the conversation when they came up.
So you don't have to.
Yeah, that was so much better than